First opened way back in 1924, but renovated in 2002. There's a look inside venerable Soldier Field in Chicago. Coming up, we've got what should prove to be a good one between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Pittsburgh Steelers. On to get us started now, the kicker, Chris Boswell. And off we go from Soldier Field. This is fielded at the goal line. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. Now Sims. And that closed up quickly there as he gets it up only to about the 17. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held them to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
They'll try and set up the screen. It's complete. And he'll lose yardage here. Back to the 15. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down. So now an early 3rd and 10 here on their opening drive. On 3rd down, Winston. He's got Evans. And he gets this one all the way up to the 40. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
Jameis Winston and Mike Evans came into the league 1 year apart. They're going to continue to grow together. How about their first connection in this game?
Yeah, in the first 2 seasons for Mike Evans, both over 1,000 yards. What a way to start an NFL career. And he hits the tight end, Brandon Myers. A good pickup there of 22.
Okay, when the big guy runs a corner route, you're asking a lot no matter who's covering him. Doesn't matter whether it's a linebacker or a defensive back. Yeah. He usually has the advantage because of his body type.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he showcased the spin but couldn't do much else as he's wrangled down. 3 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, so many times we look at a short run and we praise the offense for trying to set the tempo and establish things. But the defensive guys, hey, they just won the battle there. It wasn't a big run given up. They don't always have to absorb the body blows. Sometimes they dish them out themselves.
They got pressure there and only rushing 3.
And there's a defensive coordinator right now who is celebrating not just getting home with 3 there, but realizing if that's the type of pressure he can get in the entire game, then his pass defense is going to be excellent. You're dropping 8. Where are you going to go with the football?
So on 4th down, here's the Buccaneer place kicker, Roberto Aguayo now. This will be kicked from the 42. It's a 52-yard attempt. And that's off the right upright, and it bounces away no good. And this will remain a scoreless game. So distance not the issue there. He had plenty of leg to get it there. It's that darn upright getting in the way.
Always gets in the way of a good time, doesn't it? Because he hit it square, too. Sometimes you can bank one in if you get it on the end of the football. No such luck there for him.
A screen to Bell. Shedding the tackler that gives him some room. Le'Veon Bell. Kiss him goodbye. And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down. So let's see what this is about. Well, he's used to running it that distance. Here he had to catch it, too, before making the run. Heck of a play for the score.
There's not many things better for an offense than a back who's a complete guy.
Rush coming, and he's taken down. Darryl Smith coming in from that outside linebacker spot to bury him for a loss of 7. And when you go 5 wide like they just did there, you can't really max protect, can you?
No, you cannot. What you're hoping is that by going 5 wide, you're forcing the defense into coverage. And if you do that, you've got a chance to find some people downfield. But if they audible themselves and go into a blitz, then it's got to happen right now.
Or lights out.
Or exactly right. Turn them out. That play's over.
Roethlisberger over the middle here to Coates. And he's going to have the first down, yardage to the 35. A really nice pickup of 14 yards, and it moves the sticks.
That looked like a pretty good route combination there because you've got to find a way to clear the guy running the drag, because when you do, you just put the ball on him and then let him run.
He's got some space. Brought in by Coates. It's a pickup of 16 there, and it'll lead to a new set of downs. Well, he challenged the play. It did not pay off.
And that means he lost a timeout in that challenge.
And as a coach, you hate that. Don't know if you took the advice of the player, you threw it yourself, but it didn't go your way.
At the end of the day, it all comes back to the head coach. He has the final determination on whether to actually challenge the play or not. In this case, it didn't pay off for him.
And that's got to be so heartbreaking. You throw that flag, you probably feel really confident, and then all of a sudden, boom, you lose the challenge.
Yeah, when you take a look at it, you're throwing that flag because you believe you're going to be right. And when it comes back the other way, you have to regroup. Love the call by the offensive coordinator, recognizing the situation very well, calling for the play-action pass, and completing it.
Now Roethlisberger. That's caught at the 2. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down. And that's one of his advantages of a passer, is it not? With his height, setting back there in the pocket, firing it over the middle, he can really see everything clearly.
It is, and I know that other quarterbacks...
And he's going to be swallowed up and taken down. Sacked back at the 5-yard line. So backed up to the 6 now. 3rd and goal.
Well, this defensive unit certainly picked a great time to make a stand. Back-to-back sacks, starting with 1st and goal.
And pressure coming, and they got him once again. Robert Ayers. He's the one to get him this time, and back-to-back sacks are going to bring up a 4th down. And Boswell's kick is good. And the Steelers will jump out to a 3-zip lead. So the opening drive for him here on their home turf results in a field goal.
Now that's the way you want to get things started. Your stadium, your crowd, you've got the ball. Put points on the board first and let everyone start to celebrate.
And he'll be brought down at the 23, make it the 24-yard line. So the ball switches back over to Tampa Bay, and as they get set in place on offense, Charles, talk about the running game and the O-line, where they stack up going in next year, because Doug Martin was only active for 8 games this last season. Rushing total dropped down to 400 yards, basically.
Yeah, they were fortunate they picked up Jaquiz Rodgers during the year. He gave them some nice games throughout, but I start with the offensive line. They've got some good building blocks. Left tackle Donovan Smith, guard Ali Marpet. Great places to begin. I think they'll continue to try and fortify that offensive line, because that will help whoever becomes their primary ball carrier.
Looking left sideline, incomplete. The intended receiver that time, Adam Humphries. And it's 3rd down. And the offense looking to pick up the 1st down after the 2nd down incompletion.
It's a tried-and-true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's since being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete.
3rd down is a down. Both sides know they absolutely have to win, and the name of the game for the defense is pressure on the quarterback. But pressure on the quarterback with contact, that's how you end up winning it.
And he'll get this away into the icy winter air. With it is Brown. Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15. And the Steelers will go on offense here, 1st and 10. Pittsburgh's offense now heading back out onto the field. And they had 3 points last time, but they didn't want 3 points because they were well within range of scoring a touchdown. We'll see if they can do better now.
I'm with you on that one. Let's just go ahead and be frank about the whole thing. The only one happy about the 3-point?
The kicker.
Exactly. He put it through the post. That's going to help him in contract time. But that offense, they're thinking, let's get in the end zone this time.
I don't know if that helped him in contract time. You could have kicked that one through.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Super toe.
Fresh set of downs here. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart, because they'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. You can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
Bell AFC title game, of course, went out with a groin injury. And what did that do to Pittsburgh? Because is your star back, you game plan with him in there, he goes down, what happens?
It's not just him running the ball. It's him in the passing game as well, because you know you can use him as a back out of the backfield, use him as a slot receiver. He can run routes as well as a wide receiver outside the numbers. So when you take all that out of the game plan, it changes what you're going to do. It limits your play calls. In addition, the confidence of your offense goes down a little bit too, because when Le'Veon Bell's on the field and he has the ball in his hands, they think they can score at any time. And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. And I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the first.
It's always tough for the guys throwing the football when they think they've got a completion and the ball's almost there, and then someone sneaks a hand or two in and bats it away.
And that is incomplete. Sammy Coates, the intended target there. And now it's third down. And the offense looking to pick up the first down after the second down incompletion.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught. Putting pressure on the guy throwing the football is always good. But when you can couple that with contact on him that leads to an incompletion, as we just saw there, that's winning football.
And this is good. It was running out of gas there at the end, but he winds up getting just enough on it. And that'll make it 6-0 here in the first. A little bit of a lower trajectory there on the deep kick, and it worked.
Had to do it because he had to drive it out low because of the length of the kick. Able to do that, got it above the defense and over the post.
Now the Buccaneers offense gets ready to head back onto the field. And last drive, 3 and out. Still a goose egg on the scoreboard. How do they break that goose egg?
They've got to find a way to get the ball in the hands of their playmakers, get them some space, and try and make a first down and get some momentum going.
And now off to the races down the right side. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Charles Sims, 71 yards. And the Bucs are just an extra point away from grabbing the lead now. And he's got it up and through. After the touchdown, Aguayo now ready for the kickoff. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And the Steelers set to take the field. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted, and we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put. Second down to the offense in search of 6 yards. They'll come out in the pistol. Now Roethlisberger to throw on second down. Blitz coming, and down he goes. They bring a man off the corner that time, and he gets home for a loss of 6. And they weren't in zone coverage. They were in man, and each man did his job.
And that looked like vintage, old-school coverage, didn't it? Man coverage reminded me of an old Raiders team. They had a Hall of Famer at one corner and a Defensive Player of the Year at the other, and they just locked people down.
The Steelers call here on the Aussie, Australian-born Jordan Berry now to punt this one away. Taking it about the 16. They'll call that a punt of 59 yards. Tough to do better than that. And the Bucs will get ready to go on offense. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. And they hit the home run last drive. One play on the ground all the way to the house. Now the defense, maybe they're expecting a run here.
Partner, I love your description because when we talk about hitting the home run, we're usually thinking about a passing play, aren't we? Something in the air, deep ball. But how about them just taking it big-time jaunt? Now if you're coming back out, now they've established this run game, The play-action pass could very well be open. A monster 2016 for Mike Evans. His Buccaneers didn't make the playoffs, but wasn't because of his production. Led the league in targets and was in the top 5 in many other receiving categories. What a big-time year for him.
Yeah, 4th in yards, 2nd in touchdowns, just outside of the top 5, 6th in catches. So he's going to be a handful for teams in the future. I mean, he's got a long career ahead of him.
A long career ahead of him, and look for him to increase his yards after catch as he moves forward in his career.
Sims. And the big boys up front, they're going to stop him right at the line. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. So they go out of the gun, try to delay it on the draw, but nothing there.
Yeah, good play by the defense there. They sniffed it out and made sure there were no gaps for him to run. If you're the offense, though, you have to think to yourself, maybe I go play action down the road.
5 yards gets him back near the original line of scrimmage as they'll be left with a 3rd and long.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. He'll take that anytime you hand the ball to a back.
Jameis to throw it. To the sideline, and a nice catch there. Made sure the feet were inbounds, and they were. Here's Brian Anger now. On for his 2nd punt. He'd take a repeat of his 1st.
Was that a receiver? Yeah, actually it was. It was a running back who was a receiver on the play. I think he's been spending time in the receiver drills getting his feet down.
Well, those guys out of the backfield, they got to be good, agile with their feet. He showed the agility there with a toe tap.
No doubt about it. It's like he'd went to ballet school. Got the toes down and stayed in bounds.
On 1st down, it's Roethlisberger. Flushed out right. And not wanting to take a shot out of the pocket, he tucks it and goes down.
Well, if an offense is going to throw the ball on this part of the field, any pass rusher will tell you that's his favorite part. Gets a chance to get after the quarterback. It's almost like a reverse red zone. They can create points using their defense, and this time they take their man down.
He gets them a little over half of what they needed. Now they're looking at a 3rd and 5.
But you got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
Man open left side is Brown. And he picks up the 1st before he's taken down at the 29. 17 yards on the pickup there, and the drive will continue. And connection number 1 there on the game, Roethlisberger to Boney Tony. Antonio Brown, that's what his high school teammates used to call him.
I wonder what they would call him now.
More muscular, more successful Boney Tony Brown, right?
I'd say you're probably right. It may be all of that. They'll still call him Boney Tony, but Ben Roethlisberger calls him my number 1 target.
Against New England, Brown, 7 catches, 77 yards. So he finishes the year over 1,200, 106 receptions, but his lowest total since 2012.
And he didn't get involved in the game catching the ball very early. It took a little while before they got going with him, and at that point they were already chasing New England on the scoreboard. Antonio Brown, one of the craftier wide receivers in the league, and explosive when he gets his hands on the football.
A gain of 3, 2nd down.
But I think we know by now that every run is not going to be broken and get all the way to the end zone. But these short ones still have their value. You can still set up the play action and throw the football. You control the clock because you have the ball and they don't. And often the physicality sets the tempo for the game.
So he loses 3 yards there. Now 3rd down.
Now that was well defended. And as a cornerback, what you're taught when you see a wide receiver screen, either you get underneath the play before the blocking forms, or you're going to have to fight your way through it by getting through some blocking. That was a really nice play there.
Here's Jordan Berry now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time.
This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
So out come the Bucs now. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you've got to feel there's a sense of urgency for them going on offense right now. But they have to do it without letting panic creep in and affect their play.
So nothing there. I don't know that that's all in the back, though. You got to look at blocking there, don't you?
I would agree with that totally. At some point, they have to win at the point of attack. Instead, it was the defense getting it done again and holding them to no gain.
And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you go lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-arm guy who can rifle it in there and they were able to successfully complete that one. Brandon, one thing we run into in sports all the time is people discussing whether teams achieved all that they can achieve. And for the Atlanta Falcons in recent years, and a lot of people thought they were underachievers, they erased that with this year's playoff run to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, last year had the hot start to the season, petered out, and just when they've been able to get to the playoffs, haven't been able to get over that proverbial hump. I think they're over that hump.
Yeah, I think in this recent run, and this is what I'm talking about maybe since about 2005 or so, they did have one NFC Championship game appearance against San Francisco, but many thought they should have won that one. Now they're on to the Super Bowl in 2017.
It's a 9-yard pickup on the play, and it'll be second and about a yard.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it up, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
And here comes play number 6 on this drive. On 1st and 10, Winston. And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down. Unable to connect on the first down pass play. Now it's second down.
Today's NFL, these big guys are featured receivers. They move them all over the place to try and find good matchups. And they had one. They were just unable to complete the pass.
And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down. And here comes the 8th play of the drive, and they need a full 10 yards on third down. On third down, Winston. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And they'll get 10 there, but it leaves them just short for fourth down.
Well, it wasn't a big strike, but that completion put them in really great range. What do we have now, 4th and inches?
Yeah, it's not more than a half a foot.
You know what I would do here?
You would always go for it.
I'm one of those guys.
And that is not going to get there. Oh, he missed it short. It's no good. And this score will stay right where it is. So it's a second missed field goal here in this first half. He'll have to think about that going forward. Maybe time for a little soul-searching as well.
Yeah, the head coach might be looking towards the heavens because you wonder if this will affect the fourth down decision-making going forward. If you get 4th and 3, 4th and 4, situations that used to be calls for the kicker might get a second thought.
Okay, partner, you ready for Brandon's off-the-wall stat question of the week here?
Well, is that any different than any other time we talk?
No, it's not. But Chris Hogan
and
Julio Jones actually had the exact same numbers in the conference title games. 9 catches, 180 yards, 2 touchdowns. Who did it better?
Wow, that's a great question. Listen, the easy, trite answer is they both did it so exceptionally well, you just called a tie.
But I'm breaking the tie.
Yeah. I'm breaking the tie. Julio Jones did it better. That short slant where he ended up running over 2 or 3 people and taking it to the end zone, that was the clincher right there. Julio Jones did it a little bit better than Chris Hogan.
Give him 11 on the game there, and the Steelers are going to have a first down.
Now, that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, tight, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. Now a play fake here on first down. And it's hauled in by Rodgers for a Steeler touchdown. As the first half is winding down, and the Steelers are going to retake the lead.
And while that touchdown does not give them an insurmountable lead, it's still a lead, and that always feels good to a team.
They'd love to take that into the lockers, but a little time left on that clock, so some work to do.
I like that. I like how you're guarding against a letdown there.
Marty looking forward.
Coaching them up from right up here in the booth.
This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee, and they'll bring the football out to the 25. And now the Buccaneers offense gets set to head back onto the field. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation.
Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll...
Now hold everything here. We're going to get a timeout by the offense. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward.
The Steelers insert their nickel defense on 3rd down.
Yeah, they add a DB. 3rd and short yardage, Winston. And that will be incomplete. 4 ticks left here on the clock. And likely time for one final play here in the half, so they will go for it on 4th down. Well, they've had a pretty frustrating first half here offensively, and then just continued there with that incompletion.
Yeah, definitely frustrating for them, but heartening for the other guys. Those stop troops, they're enjoying things right now because they've made it very...
And apparently that's all, Larry. So much for the halftime report. We'll see in the postgame. We're ready to get to the 3rd quarter. This one taken from the 7. And a nice job there as he gets this one up just shy of the 35-yard line at the 34. The Steeler offense now with a football first here to begin the 3rd quarter. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
Over the middle here to Brown. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. Charles, you think Big Ben is happy to have Antonio Brown on the other side of his passes?
You know he is, but he also expects it. This is how their offense runs best. When those two get together, especially early, and continue to do it throughout the game, the end result is the one that we're seeing right now. They're ahead on the board.
It has been early and often. And the offense lining up 1st and 10.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create...
Now Bell hit. He lost the football. But it looked like the Steelers were able to recover, and they will indeed hold on to the ball. So the offense avoids disaster, keeps possession. Now it's 2nd down.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover.
Now, that was just absolute perfect man coverage. Nowhere for them to go with the football. It led to a sack. And that's really difficult to do in today's NFL with all these gazelles running around that you're trying to cover in the secondary.
It's a 15-yard pickup, but it'll lead to a 4th down. Now Chris Boswell for the Steelers field goal try. From the left hash, this will be a 41-yarder. And Boswell's kick is good. And the drive will wind up yielding 3. So 3 field goals for him here, and this last one helps him stretch out the lead.
And he's been solid as usual. And this is what you need to do. Make sure you get points out of every possession. And so far, they've done a nice job of that.
And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Here comes the Buccaneers offense. They get their first reps of the second half. They trail offense, first time to touch the ball in quarter 3, and we'll see what they can do.
And I can't wait to see what they have planned, because some teams script to start a half. Other teams just go, okay, these are the sequence of plays we want to run. These things worked well for us. And sometimes they throw in that big chunk play right away.
Shocker.
Try and get after them early and try and create a big play to give themselves some momentum.
See what they have up their sleeve. Over the middle to Evans. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44.
When Mike Evans sees man coverage, I don't think he's the only guy who gets excited. I'll guarantee the guy throwing the ball does, because guess what? He's got a lot of options about where to place it because of Mike Evans' size and frame.
Play clock hit 0. Don't know what went wrong there, Charles, but it's going to cost them 5 yards.
Has to be some organization from the sideline. Sometimes when you're trying to decide on what play to send in, the play caller has to move a little bit faster.
Working out of the gun, Winston. He's got time in the pocket. And the pressure gets there, and Winston goes down. James Harrison in there to sack him for a loss of 6. And we say it all the time, have to be able to get rid of the ball sooner than that.
You have to help your offensive line out. They're going to protect you as best they can. And if you're getting 3 to 5 seconds to throw the ball, they're doing a really nice job. But when you hold it and give up a sack, you're really almost discrediting their work.
And that looked like some pretty easy yardage there right up the gut.
And he's a guy that has some height to him. So when you don't have to drop his shoulder or create or get through contact or trash, it makes it a lot easier to stay upright, see the field, and make a run as we just saw there.
Here's Brian Anger now as he's on to punt for Tampa Bay.
Well, that's certainly playing down and distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath by all means.
He gets this one away, and boy, it's another boomer. Now Brown. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. And now out come the Steelers. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
Goes underneath for Bell. Call it a 3-yard gain, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
Over the middle, it's caught by Rodgers. And he's going to have the 1st down yardage to the 35. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful you're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
Throw complete there, Rodgers. And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. 17 yards on the pickup there. The drive will continue. It's a 1st down. They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side. To throw here, Roethlisberger. Flush to his right. Room here to run. It's a gain of 5, and that'll make it 2nd down. 5 yards left for the offense. It's 2nd down.
Now, how about that play? He took a possible negative and turned it into positive yardage and slid down to avoid taking a big shot. Excellent job getting down and avoiding the big hit.
It'll be a 3-yard gain, and they're going to face a 3rd down.
I'm going to show my age here a little bit. We used to talk about running backs catching the ball as safety valves. Nowadays, they're a big part of the passing offense.
Quit acting like you're so old. You're only 65. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive.
Would it be safe to say that as precise as routes are supposed to be run in the NFL, maybe they're not quite as precise in college ball?
That's accurate, yeah.
And I think we saw a college route in the NFL there. Just find the soft spot, find the dead zone, and find the 1st down. And that's what he just did. Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well. And the seemingly endless drive continues.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. 3 yards to go here on 2nd down. Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height, sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively, doesn't it?
It really does, because your goal is to move the quarterback off his initial spot when he gets the
Looks like the defense in press coverage here. And the Bucs with an extra defender in the secondary now on 3rd down. From the gun on 3rd down, it's Roethlisberger. And intercepted. Maybe the turning point they need. Picked up by Brad McDougal. Here comes the Tampa Bay offense now heading back out onto the field. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of, until they stop him, why not go back to it? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch. Completed pass play. Now let's see if they go back to the air or to the ground. And a pretty simple completion there underneath, but a successful one for the offense.
Partner, it doesn't have to be the big shots downfield all the time. Having that safety net underneath is a great thing for a quarterback.
They get 5 out of that one, and it moves the chains.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football. In that situation, that's almost a tendency breaker.
A dump off to Sims. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. Give him 3 on the play, and that'll make this a 2nd down. Completed pass play. Now let's see if they go back to the air or to the ground. Now Jameis on 2nd down. And he's got this down a yard or 2 shy of the 40 before he's out of bounds. It's a gain of 6 on the play, and that'll make it 3rd and 1. Still in search of the 1st down after that last completion. The first carry here for Jaquiz Rodgers. And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter. Let's see how this plays out. Needing the tough yards, they run it with their fullback. And he gets it to the 34. Good enough for the first. It'll be a gain of 9. And on 4th down, they're able to convert and move the sticks.
I like the reasoning. It's too far for a field goal, and it's too short to really get a big field position edge on a punt. Let's go for it. And sure enough, it's the ground game that's able to convert for him on 4th down.
He's going to flip one out here to his running back. Give him 6 on the play, and it'll make it 2nd down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 to the 5-yard line. Now this will be the 9th play on this drive.
Good route, good pickup for 1st down yardage, and that is a tough one to cover, the angle route, because a running back getting out of the backfield, if you're trying to cover that, especially if you're in the linebacker spot and you're seeing this play develop, he heads out towards the flat first, and that often gets you to overcommit running in that direction. Then he cuts back up inside you into the middle of the field. That's what we just saw there for a nice pickup.
They'll run it here. This is Rodgers. They're able to get a couple here, but won't get across the plane as they stop him right around the 1. They gotta have 6 here. It's 3rd and goal.
Sometimes I get caught in hyperbole, but I think they desperately need to punch this one in. They're running out of time.
Yeah, 2-score game, 2nd half. You're down here. This is the time to put it in the end zone.
And not going to get much better than this for an opportunity.
A loss of 8 on the play, and it brings up 4th.
Well, that wasn't exactly a work of art, was it?
No, that wasn't a thing of beauty. That's just why I don't play in points per reception fantasy league.
Is that what they call it?
Receiver still gets a point there. Yeah. And you went that far back. No bueno.
Well, I'll tell you what. I wish I had their defense on my fantasy game.
So they get 3. They were hoping for 6. An unlucky number 13 play drive.
Well, you go to the sideline after putting 3 points on the board. Happy. But you wanted to be ecstatic. You wanted to have 6 on the board. On the opposite sideline, though, the defense, I think they're high-fiving each other, only giving up 3 after letting them run that much offense.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. A screen to Bell. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and that'll make it 2nd and a foot or so. Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively.
When you run a screen pass really well, you got to like the look of it because so many parts come together to make it work well. The offensive linemen, where they're faking people out, the back slipping out there, catching the football, then all of them going together as one unit downfield. A really nice pickup.
And on 3rd down, a nickel formation here defensively. Roethlisberger now to throw on 3rd down. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
So much of this game is focus and concentration. And whenever I see guys running the in route, I know that in the back of their mind, they're always wondering who's lurking inside that might put a big hit on them as they try and catch the ball.
He's averaging just under 50 yards a punt as he gets this away. This is taken at about the 14. A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. Now the Buccaneer offense set to take over again. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
On second down, Winston again. He's going to find his running back. It's complete. And it showcases the spin. A pretty good gain before he's taken down.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
And they'll let their fullback try and push the pile. And he's got the first before he's brought down at the 39-yard line.
It's amazing how much advice defensive players get on third down. You hear the bench screaming out, watch the draw, watch the screen, watch the pass here. Very rarely do they reference watching the fullback, and he slipped through and picked up a first down.
Over the middle, and it's incomplete. The target that time was Vincent Jackson. That'll bring up second down. They'll put 2 receivers left, 2 to the right. A second down throw for Winston. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he's taken down, but not before getting this across midfield and just shy of the 40.
Quarterbacks love slant routes because the receivers are breaking right into their line of vision. And receivers love them as well because they're getting the ball on the move and able to catch it and try and get upfield and gain additional yardage.
That throw good for 4. It's second down. Time starting to run out here in the 4th. This defense just trying to keep the offense off the board and preserve this potential victory. They'll throw again. Winston. Pressure comes, and the Steelers take him down. James Harrison in there to get him his second sack now of the afternoon. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
Back to throw. And the third down pass falls incomplete. Mike Evans, the one he was looking for. And it's 4th down. Here's Brian Anger now. He's been terrific so far. He gets it away, and I think they'll smartly play keep away here from Brown. The Steelers offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. They have the lead, still a one-possession game, but the defense got to stop. They've got the football now, just salted away, right?
Exactly. That's all the defense is counting on from their offense. They did their job in a big way. You know they're over on the sidelines now starting to take their tape off, and, hey, we've done this thing. The offense has to put it away, and that means ball security.
Absolutely. Stranger things have happened.
The good signal callers would never go back in the huddle and play the blame game because they need those guys to protect him. But on that last one, his offensive line, they lost their leverage very quickly, and that's why they...
And now the Bucs deciding to take a timeout defensively. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. Roethlisberger going to throw it. Looking for his running back, and he's got him. And the Buccaneers go ahead and take another timeout. That'll be their second, so one more chance to stop the clock here, and we'll be back. Here's Roethlisberger. Over the middle, here to Coates. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. Now hang on here, timeout called by the defense. That'll be their 3rd and final stoppage here as we step aside. Now a first down carry by Bell. And down inside the 35 he goes to the 32-yard line. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. Offense staying ahead of the chains here, 2nd and 3.
I know that every now and then we get in those meetings with coaches, and you almost want to roll your eyes when they talk about staying on schedule when they're moving the football. But would you say a 7-yard run is ahead of schedule?
Fourth quarter with a lead, you love that, don't you?
No doubt about it, because staying on schedule is trying to get 4 downs on first down. They did that plus 3.
And the knee is taken for the Steelers out of the victory formation. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This to make it a 2-score game. And this is right down the middle as he puts it through. And high fives for that one as that drive ends in 3. So barring something extraordinary, something crazy here in the closing stages, that field goal should just about put this one on ice.
Brandon, this will be a great win for them. The better team's going to win this game, no question about it.
And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Now the Buccaneers offensive unit back out on the field. They might be thinking this is close to a lost cause here. Got to play it out. What do they need to do?
Well, they have a thought process in mind already, but they can't get ahead of themselves. They know that they need to score quickly.
Yep, 2-score game.
Onside kick and get the ball back and then score again. But they can't worry about the last 2 points. The only thing that matters is scoring quickly. Then they'll take it from there.
Well, as always, partner, an extreme pleasure to share a booth with you. I have to say, I am impressed at your discipline because you came here and you said you were not going to eat any of the media buffet. You made it to the end. You didn't consume a single calorie.
I appreciate that. What you missed is me going to the concession stand outside of your eyesight and getting it done that way. Look, I mean, they were serving the good stuff. I had to do it.
Oh, man, but you're svelte, in good shape, but yeah, you cheated a little bit. We'll let it slide.
I appreciate that. Always a pleasure to work with you.
That'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our hardworking crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, find us on Twitter at EA Madden NFL. With that, we say so long from Soldier Field.